We must reject this idea that who Bernie was in the 1960s is irrelevant. I reject it because who you are and what you do, what you fight for, who you fight for, and who you fight against, it's always relevant. This is the origin story of a political revolutionary. And long before we used the phrase white privilege, Bernie had the notion that he needed to use his own white privilege to fight back against racism and bigotry and inequality.
I personally seen the ways that Bernie's fight against housing segregation in the 60s, Bernie's fight against the homogeny of white folk in Hyde Park.
Bernie was just a teenager when he moved from Brooklyn to Chicago, and it was the most tumultuous and challenging time that this nation had faced since the Civil War 100 years before that. And most Americans, particularly most white Americans, remained completely silent. And it was that silence in the face of lynching, in the face of water hoses, in the face of bombings of homes and churches, in the face of assassinations, in the face of attack dogs being released on children. It was actually that white silence that broke the heart of Dr. King as he languished in the Birmingham jail. And it was that silence in the face of evil that Dr. King said actually tells us more about the soul of America than the brutality itself.
The current state of affairs is dangerous. We are in desperate need of a president who is willing to stand on the side of justice and prove their commitment to it.
Dr. King said, the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy.
We are in desperate need of someone who has not only promised justice, but has practiced it.
20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40 years from now, when people step up and run for office, what they did and where they were during the Black Lives Matter movement, it will mean something. Where they were during the Muslim ban, where they were when immigrant children were being ripped away from their families, it's all going to matter.
We've seen Senator Bernie practice justice, and I hope we all continue to put justice into practice by backing the candidates who can bring about the most transformative change and continuing to organize to free our communities day in and day out.
Bernie has been giving the man hell since the day he was born. And for you to tell me that all of that means nothing is preposterous.